Hi everyone, I am Mukul Kakkar, founder of MK Logistics and Augustus Brokerage. Today I have a very special guest in house to introduce to you all. And he's US citizen and he's running his trucking company for more than decade now. And he's been in India for the very first time and I'm very glad to have a podcast with him today. So his name is Mr. Edmond Williams. So Edmond, how are you?
I'm good.
So Edmund, I think we have started working together for more than 2 years now, and we have just started with just a random phone call. Can you just explain it a little bit like how this happened? Like I just called you, no, out of nowhere, and we are here today.
So,
And how do you feel about it?
so first, I known Sam for about a year and a half prior to working with him, and we'll just have sometimes phone call me about a load, and then we end up staying on the phone for like 45 minutes just chatting. And fast forward about a year and a half after, called me up one day and said he would like to work together. And I said, okay, how? And here we are today.
Yeah, and I would like to say, thank you for the opportunity, and it's been awesome working with you for more than years now, and we wish like we can go a lot, and today's you're like you are here in India for the very first time. How do you like India?
India is good, and it's not what most people think of India, right? India is a lot more than you think. The average person don't think of India as developed as it is. They see it as more what they want you to see, more like a third world country or some sort, but it's way more.
Mhm. And you're here for the festival season as well. Like it's a Deepavali,
Yes,
and
Diwali.
how do you like our city, like Gurgaon and Delhi NCR, like over, is it light you up as well?
Yeah, the first the festival, it's nice. It's like a celebration on a scale of Christmas. The fireworks is way more than I've ever seen. Like all night long. You don't just 2 3 hours and it stop. It just goes on for like 2 days straight fireworks. You could just go outside and just watch fireworks until you feel like going to sleep. It just goes on and on. The city itself, it's pretty busy.
Yeah, it's a lot of busy. Like
It's very busy. So
yeah.
it takes getting used to,
Hmm.
but it's overall it's good. It's
So all
good.
I can say you have enjoyed by staying here.
Yes. Yes.
Right,
it's
and
good.
we wish like you can come here like every quarter maybe, and just have some of the tea. And how do you like tea? Like you've been drinking
Yes.
5 6 tea, cup of tea every day, and
Yes,
you've
my
been
most
drinking
favorite
it.
thing in India is chai.
It's chai. Yeah. So guys, he also likes chai. Let's start with the real questions now, for what we are recording here. So my first question is, do you think US brokers really understand trucking side, or are they here just playing, money game, like margins game?
I'll say it's more margin game for brokers. They don't care about the trucking side. Customers, how truckers see it is, the brokers keeping the money to themselves. Most truckers believe brokers steal all the money to themselves. But in reality is the brokers is trying to please the customer while maintaining a margin. And it's just the business. You don't expect them to do this for free. Because the brokers also play an important role, which truckers don't appreciate, right? And brokers don't appreciate the role the truckers play either. Most of them, some do, but the majority don't. The brokers just care about getting a margin, no matter what the customer asks, whether it's doable or not, right? It's the broker's job to let the customer know some of the thing they ask for is not doable. right? And the truckers need to understand that the broker is just most of the time just doing as the customer asks.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about robbing them. It's not about playing games with them. It's just the customer asks for a lot of dumb things,
Mm-hmm.
and the broker's job to fulfill the customer's requests.
But do you think they are playing some kind of mind games here with the carriers by saying, like just say they want to negotiate the rates with you. Like they just say like this, my customer have a very cheaper rates on this. But you don't know at the end of the story. You don't know the exact conversation they're having with their customers too. What do you think?
Yes, so they right now they have a law
Mm-hmm.
they want to pass where brokers have to show what they're making on the rate,
Mm-hmm.
right? But most of the brokers put in their contract that you cannot ask that.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a very gray area there
Mhm.
between the law and the brokers, and it's not passed as a law yet. So it's been brought up over and over and over, but it's never been passed.
And you have mentioned that some of the carriers accept the rates, but it's not doable for them. Like for example, brokers trying to make a margin on a very small load, or maybe it's a load that pays a lot of money, but it's not doable for the carriers, right? And I would like to ask you something here. If the load is not doable for the carrier, then how brokers are still moving the loads with the carriers?
Because they move the loads mainly with owner operators,
Mhm.
like a one-man trucking operation.
Mhm.
He will move the load for costs, like basically just operational costs, fuel, truck, insurance,
Mhm.
not driver costs. So he eliminates his costs. But if you try to move that same load with a company that has a driver cost and other operational costs,
Mhm.
it's not possible. So it's possible for the single truck driver
Mhm.
and even the 2 and 3, because they even work themselves out of business.
Mhm.
Basically, that's what happens.
Mhm.
Because the load is so low that it's not profitable to keep the business running long term.
So, can you say this thing? Can you make a statement on this thing that carriers are not making money for the loads that they are getting from the brokers, but brokers are making money by giving the same load to the carriers?
Yes, so brokers get a margin of about 10 to 15%, regardless of the market height, right? It could be more, but they average about 10 to 15%. So no matter how low the rates go, they get their 10% or 15%, right? So they're okay. The carrier, on the other hand, the lower it goes, the less he make, or the more negative he goes. Because a lot of carriers, 90% of the carriers today is running a loss.
Mhm.
They're not making money, they're just staying alive, hoping the market turn around.
Yeah, we have seen a lot of examples after 2022 that most of the trucking companies have been shut down due to lower rates. And do you think that most of the trucking companies that have been shut down after 2022, is that because of the rates that they were getting, or is just because of the volume was dropped down?
Both. The volume dropped
Mhm.
and the contracts that they had, the contracts they have, it went away, and the new contract that put in place cannot sustain the operations.
Mhm.
You're talking about the big carriers that you always hear about.
Mhm.
These people has a lot of overhead employees to maintain. The rates today cannot even maintain a basic operation, much less a company that has high overhead. So they need to be around $3 per mile going to maintain the overhead. And this market does not sustain that.
Okay. So let me ask you second question on that. Currently, if let's just say market rate for the carrier is about $2 to $2.5 per mile, right? Like which brokers are offering to the carrier. Somewhere it's even low. And I'm talking about all-in rates that they are offering to the carriers of $2 per mile to $2.5 per mile, and it's most of like $2 per mile.
Yes.
And they want include all-in,
Yes.
like line haul, FSC, 2 days of chassis plus storage, like all the things, right? Plus 1 days of storage. And when carriers have a lot of bills, like you're running a trucking company for more than a decade now, do you think this era, like if carriers are still getting $2 per mile or $2.2 per mile rate will continue for more than 1 year or 2 year, do you think that this can shut down a lot of trucking companies, or this is just a standard and after some point of time market will turn around and this will be overruled?
So the first thing is this could go on for 3 to 5 years easily. Because carriers will fight to stay alive like anything else, right? Everybody, no matter who you are, what you do, survival is just essential. So you're gonna fight to stay alive the best you can. But like you said, carriers will go out of business, and it's getting to a point where brokers are even going to a $1.70, $1.80, $1.90. They want to give to the carrier, but carriers are going out of business. Now, what's going to happen eventually? The more carriers go out of business, especially the company ones, not the owner operators. The company ones, they will go out of business. There is no way they're keeping up with insurance, which goes up every year, maintenance costs, driver pay, and all the stuff else that comes in between. There is no way they're keeping up with that at this rate, at this much. It's just how long they could survive in the negative.
Okay.
So every carrier right now is on a timeline. Every one of them.
Okay.
So
and they're still trying to, be in the market by taking loans or doing some stuff, so that they are waiting for the market to turn around.
Yes. So the carriers that well put together, they made a lot of money in COVID time. They have money. They will survive this. Right? This is a storm, like I won't say like every other storm, but they will survive. It's the mid to small carriers that is gonna die. The big giants will survive, but the mid to small carriers, they will die. Most of the death will comes there.
Okay. So here's a third question for you. So whenever, like just say you're getting a load from a broker which pays about $1,000 and you are running a company, right? Can you break down the actual cost, that what you're going to pay for the insurance on that, what are you going to pay for the fuel on that, what are you going to pay, drivers on that? I'm just, can you give me like some of the calculations in which brokers can really understand? And then just say that load is about 500 miles round trip and they offered you $2 all in and you are getting paid $1,000 from them. Can you break down the actual cost to see if carriers even make 2% or 3% on that, or it's just a running cost? Can you break down the actual cost of that load?
So the actual cost of trucking is $2.10 a mile.
$2.10 a mile.
That's the basic number.
So $2.10.
$2.10 across the fleets. Right? This doesn't mean intermodal. That means everybody. Right? Some costs a little bit higher based on the equipment type, but that's the baseline. If a carrier is running under that, he's losing money. Right? Now, so at $2 a mile, he's not making anything. That's operational costs.
Can you break down that $1,000?
So 30% of that is for the driver.
30% is for driver.
Right.
Okay.
So
$300 is gone.
Right. So if a driver, if a owner operator takes the same load for $1.80, he just took his personal money for him, because he can't pay himself now. That money went to there, right? So now you gotta put away another 25% for maintenance, repairs, and all that, right?
So 250 days gone there.
So right. Now you have another 30% goes to fuel.
300 is gone
15% goes to insurance.
there. So 650, 850, and then 150.
Good. So you
That
have like
is gone.
$50 left. What are
Yep.
you paying with that? See what I'm saying? There's so much other things I could add that $50 to.
So which
It
means,
doesn't even make sense.
so let's just say if brokers are offering you $2 all in, like 2 days of chases as well, 1 day of storage as well, they want that kind of stuff always. And
Yes.
carriers do offer that, and you
Yes.
you do as well, just to run up basically. But that is actual a negative. But like, so you are saying here brokers are seeing that this is a profitable business for you, but it is not actually.
No, brokers don't see profitable for you, they don't care what's for you. They just care what you accept.
Okay.
They're in the business to make money, and that's not their fault. It's it's just business.
Yeah.
They're in the business to make money. They get their margin. You can't hold that against them, right? Because that's what they're here for. That's their business. Don't take it personal. Make it personal.
Yeah, I can't
That's
take it
their
personal because
business.
I also
Exactly.
and we do also like Augustus brokerage.
There is a purpose for both sides.
Yeah.
The market is just at a point where there is just too much trucks, too little freight. So, and seeing as it's a free market, supply and demand controls everything. So the market is just at a place where too much truck, too little freight, demand is low, price is low.
So let's just say there is like a lot of brokerage companies out there in the market who has been operating from overseas, like in the US as well. They have their offices in India as well, like we are here, and they have like multiple companies like who has brokers here, who have like almost 50-60 salesperson who are brokers. And like every broker right now tries to make relationship with the carrier, and somehow they are able to make and somehow they are not able to make. So what do you think, going further, like those brokers who are in the market attached to same company, some of them are maintaining the relationships with the carrier, some of them are just talking to carriers just that so that they can make money.
Yes.
So do you think like there is a difference between the brokers as well and their mindset as well, or all the brokers are same?
No, all brokers are not the same. Because I had 3 brokers that I used to work with, and you don't see them the same. Right? Carrier-based brokers based on how many loads you give them, how soon you pay your invoice, whether you could factor it or not, and how much you give them on the load. Because I have brokers where I never ask them what the load pay. I just tell them, send it. Whatever you got, send it. Because you know they're fair. They're not the average broker. The average broker don't care about how much the load paid to the carrier. They just care how much margin they make. There is the brokers that have a sense of, how should I say, neutral, a neutral sense. Like they want both parties to make money. So they'll say, they'll never give you a load pay less than $210 a mile. All right? If I have a broker like that, I don't need to ask you how much the load pay. Because I know your stuff is always above average, or it never goes under the breaking point. So to me, the more load I do for you, the better I am.
So here's another question for you, and it is very important for the brokerage companies as well and the trucking companies as well. Let's just say there is a company X, you're working with that company. There are 50 brokers in that company, right? And out of 50, 5 brokers are working with you, and those 5 don't know, respectively, that they are working with you, and you don't even tell them all, because right now brokers are so private, they don't tell their carriers, and they don't share their carrier details to other broker, whether they are in the same company or not. So let's just say if you have a great relationship with one broker out of those 5 brokers, if he move on from that company to another company, right, will you be again trust that broker if he moves on to another company, or will you trust the brand name, the company name most as a carrier? So your
questions
basically let me put this question very straight. Do you trust a broker, or do you trust a company where is he working right now?
Both. So you trust the broker that keeps his word. So if he says, I'll pay you in 5 days, or after 5 loads, I'll get you paid. And after the 5 load, you call him and be like, I need to get paid for this 5 because I can't do it. My limit with you has reached. And he'll call his accounting team and he'll make sure you get paid. That builds trust. Right? So if you trust that, you build trust with him on that level. But then if the company itself is where you could factor the load based on that company criteria, then the company has that authority there. So if we move on to say company Y,
Mm-hmm.
but company Y doesn't have credit,
Mm-hmm.
yes, you trust the broker, but not the same as before.
Okay.
Because the company doesn't have the same
Mm-hmm.
reputation like the one he was in before.
Mhm.
Now, I could do 2 loads with him, but now, let's say company Y cannot be factored.
Mm-hmm.
That limits what I could do with him, whether I trust him or not.
Mm-hmm.
It's not all about trust, it's about business and risk.
Mm-hmm.
He's just the broker there.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know who's behind that company and how they pay. So after you do like 5, 10 loads and he could still get you paid like he used to, make keep his word, 10 days they'll get you, then yes, you continue like he's still at the other one. You wouldn't really care whether he's at Y or X, as long as you're getting paid.
Okay, so it's all about getting paid on time,
Getting paid on
getting
time.
things done on time. So, le- to conclude it, we can just say if a broker, if you trust a broker in that company, so if he's switching to another company, he gotta make sure that that company also have a good credit in the market.
Yes, because you switch to a company with good credit to one to bad credit.
Mm-hmm.
Even though you have the customers, it's harder to move the containers or harder to move the loads. Because carriers need to get paid, and especially today where brokers are closing just like carriers,
Yeah.
you got to know who you're working with,
Mhm.
and you can only extend so much credit to someone who has no credit.
Okay. Another thing, do you think factoring companies for carriers is really helpful, or it's a realistic scam?
It's helpful for carriers, but carriers at some point needs to get past factoring. Because if a carrier starts to grow, factoring doesn't work. Factoring limits what you could do, who you could work with, when you could work with them, and at to what scale. Because if I'm working with company Y, and company Y gives me a project they have, which is 100 loads. This 100 loads is 150,000, and the carrier and the factoring company limit for them is only 50,000, and your sole operation needs factoring, then you could only do 50 loads. You could no longer do the other 100 because you don't have the credit from the factoring to do so. But if you're running on your own finance, then you could do the 100 load, no problem.
Okay. But what do you think? How much the risk is involved if you are financing your business 100% by yourself, or
If
you
you're
are
financing
taking-
your business 100% by yourself,
Mhm.
the risk is 100% yours.
Mhm.
But by that time, you should be experienced enough to run a 100% finance business. You have enough market sense to know the risk levels and how high. Yes, you're going to take more risk than a factoring company. It's your business, it's your clients, you're going to take a lot more risk than they're willing to take. Right? Factoring company only sees you as a number. And they know anything over 20% of your volume they don't want to do because it becomes risky to them.
Okay. So let's just put this word: if they allow you to work with a customer, and you are doing a lot of work with them, but there might be a chances if that broker runs away, but factoring company paid you for those loads which you have factored for that customer, will you still get paid? I mean, will they going to deduct that money from your reserve, or the question is like, will factoring company really care for the carrier companies, or they are just here to make them a money?
So the factoring company only cares about one thing. Factoring company cares about the possibilities that the person don't pay and you don't have enough in your reserve to give them back. That's the only thing they care about, because they're gonna take it back, especially if you on a recourse. There is non-recourse factoring and there's recourse factoring.
What's the difference between those?
So recourse is they will take the money back from you if your customer don't pay. Non-recourse is they don't take the money back. they will take the loss for you. The
And,
difference is you'll pay more for
Okay.
that service.
And how much would be the difference of the pay mode? Let's just say you are paying 3% to a factoring company to factor all of your loads.
So a 3% will be recourse.
Okay.
They'll take the money back.
They'll take the money back if the customer
Non-recourse runs 5 plus.
5%.
Yes, 5% plus because it's
5%
higher
plus.
risk to them.
Okay.
And their credit limit will be like this on the loans. Very small
Okay, very
limits. They
small.
wouldn't give you large limits. That's more for one-man operation business. That
Okay.
cannot be sustained for a larger fleet to run a non-recourse. It's too expensive.
So, as you are running a trucking company for more than a decade now, so what do you think? Having a factoring company is a good choice for your business, or you think like you can finance whenever you have a lot of money by yourself to your operations?
You need to be able to finance for yourself.
Mhm.
You need that freedom to do it on your own and have your own in-house credit department, your own in-house accounting department that handles credit and handles payments and handle collections and give credit to people also. Just like the factoring would do, but you're doing it in-house.
Mhm.
So you could move it as you need, as business requires.
Mhm.
Because the factoring company does not make exceptions for you like you will do for yourself. And they don't care about your bottom line or your customers, whether you keep the customer, lose the customer. That's not their problem. And they don't care. It's just business.
It's just about the business.
It's just about the business.
All right.
Every business is about business.
So they just really are here to make some money and trying to figure their things out.
Yes, everybody is here just to make money. The relationship is a necessity.
Mhm.
It's not they want to, it's just a necessity. The goal is to make money. Everybody's goal is to make money, minimize risk. So the more people you have involved in the chain is the more limitation you have. The more you eliminate people, the less limitation you have. So let's say you're a carrier, you eliminate the broker, you have less limitation there. You eliminate factoring, you have less limitation there. So you just customer, carrier, shipment. So whatever the customer require, it's easier to get it done because it's customer straight to carrier. Now you add the broker, now you have a level in between. Right? You add the factoring, you have another layer in between that you have to go through to make sure you can get this load done.
So in business, what's more important for you? Trust or trying to make money?
Well, the goal is to make money.
Mhm.
Trust is important to make money.
Okay.
So both is required.
So in logistics, which part like you trust the most? Like you work with shippers, you work with brokers, you work with warehouses, you work with a lot of people.
Yeah.
Which department do you trust the most? Like you work with drivers too. So which department do you trust the most in logistics?
None.
None.
It's business. So you trust
So
but
do you
verify.
think that one
You
day
have
even
to-
if you trust someone,
Yes.
he can just put you at the middle out in the middle?
I
somewhere?
trust, but
Mhm.
whether I trust or not is irrelevant. The problem is, even though I trust and you got a business, that doesn't save me.
Hmm.
So you need to trust, but they yet verify.
But if you're just think that you cannot trust anybody at the end of the day and you're here to make money, do you think at the end of the day when you're making money and at that point of time you needed some of the stuff from the people, like just say last minute loot, last minute stuff, do you think they will give it to you if you don't have, like if if I'm not talking about you, if the carriers don't have that trust relationship with those?
The carriers or the broker having trust with the carrier?
The carriers don't have trust relationships with the brokers, or maybe
Vice versa.
vice versa.
So carriers and brokers have a strange relationship, right? They don't like each other. Let's get this clear.
Okay.
But they need each other.
Okay.
They can't function without each other. The bottom line is, it all depends on the carrier's ability
Mhm.
and how the broker sees them. and how they see the broker.
Mm.
Because there's certain brokers, if they call me up last minute and say, could you move this for me? I will go out of my way to get it done. There's certain brokers, if they call me and say, could you do this for me? If it's convenient for me, I do it. If not, I doesn't care. Right? So it all depends on how they see each other.
Okay.
Now, if one of those carriers that I will move heaven and earth for violate that trust, then he goes to the back of the line just like everybody else. The next time he calls me, I'll treat him like everybody else. If it's convenient for me, I do it. If it's not, then whatever.
Okay. And sometimes there is a very hard choice his broker needs to make to prove his words to the carrier because of his company. Let's just say I'm working in X company. They gave me a certain limitation that you cannot work with Augustus Transport LLC because they have like little bad reputation. But I know I'm working in the market for more than like 5 years, and I know Edmond. I know his trucking company. If my trucking, if my company is putting a limitation that I cannot work with you, do you think still I go beyond and break the rules of my company to work with you, or should I just lay low and try to find another companies? Because it's easy for me to find another company as well, but keeping the same trust by avoiding the laws of my company is hard. What do you think, like which choice should I make?
So first you got to see why they don't, right? Why they don't want to work with that company, and is it valid, right? So most of the time brokers don't work with carriers is for a reason that doesn't make sense. Because one broker says on one load this happened. They don't review the circumstances. They don't review the broker words. They just go with whatever nonsense they write there. So they will stop work with this person because of this reason that happened 2 years ago on one load, even though you did like 200 loads with them. So in that scenario, I say that company is not worth working for. Move on to somebody else who has more business sense, because that scenario that doesn't make any sense. For one load, you ruin a relationship instead of getting to the bottom of it and you and the carrier coming up with a common solution and moving forward.
So do you think that putting some of the illogical complaints on FMCSA or the carrier portals against a trucking company by a random broker who just started a business like 1 year ago, 2 year ago, 3 year ago, just hamper trucking company's business? Because I have an example for you. So like we are working together, so I know there is a broker. I don't want to put that company name because they are not I think that will not be good enough though, but I just want to say here, they made an illogical complaint on Augustus Transport LLC on the carrier portal that we were trying to hostage their load. Like we are running in the market for we are running in the market for more than a decade now, and we have never done that. But some of the brokers seen that you have hostage a load, and they have mentioned on the carrier portal that you are trying to hostage a load, and when they were trying to pay you, we still didn't want you to deliver that load.
There's never been a time when I hostage a load, right? Hostaging a load is expensive to the carrier, right? The carriers who hostage loads, I don't see the need and the worth of hostaging a load. Yes, you hostage a load to make the broker pay you, but that doesn't do anything for you as a carrier, especially in intermodal, because you hold the container, you pay for it, right? The longer you hold the container, the more expense you create. So I can, not even one time that I know of, I hostage a container. That doesn't make any sense to me.
Okay, and I want to make a very good statement here. Like right now, I am working with you in Augustus Transport LLC too, right? And so guys, I want to say something here to you. I want to give you the exact case study what happened last month with Augustus Transport LLC. So there is a broker, I don't want to put their company name. They just gave us a load, and we were trying to deliver the load on time, but there is something happened, like a truck issue due to a flat tire. We were not able to deliver the load on time. It just delayed like by 1 or 2 hours max, and they told us, you have to re-deliver the load. So there will be a dry run charges on that load now, because we have to pay the drivers. We cannot take the loads. in trucking, brokers need to understand one thing, that if there is a truck, anything can happen on the road. It could be accident, it could be flat tire, it could be anything. If he's running late and if he's not able to reach to the warehouse on time, it's not always his fault. So what happened at that time was, our driver reached the warehouse very late, like after 2 hours, and they rejected the load. So what that broker told us, you have to redeliver the load tomorrow. And then we told them that you have to pay for the dry run, because we cannot take all the loads. So as a good company, we told them that we can split the charges, we can do something for that. And they said okay. So after then, our mistake was just, one of our salesperson mistake was, he talked to them on the call, but he never put that on the email that he's going to pay us for the dry run, some of the stuff. And he never sent us the updated RC at the same day. So let's just say our driver went to deliver the load today, and he just came back because of he's late. And the same day, the broker told us that we have to deliver the load tomorrow. But that broker do not want to give us the updated rate confirmation. As a trucking company right now, Edmond, the most important thing is to get the updated rate confirmation from the same broker, because after you deliver the load, they might deny the charges.
They will
Deny the charges, and most of people are doing right now. I'm telling you upfront, by being in this market a lot, and I've seen a lot of brokers right now. I'm also a broker too. I'm going to tell you something, but cheating on carrier on this stuff, it's not good. So what happened is, on that same day when our driver came back and they had to give us the rate confirmation updated, so we told them, until you gave us the rate confirmation, we are not going to deliver your load tomorrow. We just said that just because at least we'll get the updated rate confirmation same day. So they were trying to make something, we'll give you the rate confirmation tomorrow after deliver the load, this, that. And let me tell you something, that brokerage company was new in the market. It's not like running for more than years, and we cannot trust that company who's just very new, because our factoring company is not allowing them to refactor or do that stuff. So at the same day, he was not giving us a rate confirmation, and tomorrow he put a statement that you have to deliver the load, and I'm giving you the rate confirmation now. And at that point of time, we said that very straight, that we want the payment now, because you are changing the statement and we never received the rate confirmation updatedly, and now you are denying on everything. So he put a claim on us that we are trying to hostage his load. At the same moment, we have already decided that we should let our driver know to leave our storage yard by 6 a.m. to reach there at 8 a.m. It just was a negotiation with the broker. So it was a good communication, but he was taking it too very personally. So what he was thinking is, we are hostaging the load, we are doing that, we were doing that. We were never doing that kind of stuff, and we told them, at least give us the updated rate confirmation. Do not pay us right now, but you need to give us that document which states that you are going to pay us. We are trusting you that much, you have to do that right now. If you are not doing that right now, I'm sorry, whatever you want to call it, but there is some important stuff that you have to pay for the driver, you have to pay for the fuel. But if you're not committing anything, then you cannot say you're hostaging a load and doing that stuff and putting that report on the carrier portal. It's not good enough. If you think that carrier portal report can only hamper us, it's not possible. If we are going to revert that report, it's going to hamper your business as well, because we also have a good reputation in the market for more than a decade now. So to each person out there, broker, each broker who is in the market right now, and I'm going to tell you very straightforward, if you're going to ever try to scam Augustus Transport LLC like this, it's not going to be a good thing for you. And do not, it's my request as well, do not cheat and scam the carriers, because they are working very hard. Because right now I'm understanding the carrier side as well and the brokerage side as well. I know we are here to make money and they are here to make money, but by scamming, by denying all the charges, it's not gonna be a good reputation for you. And I'm going to say for those brokerage companies as well right now, and you are seeing me very upfront and very confident, that if you have a broker like that who's making that kind of mistake in your company, they are ruining your brand. Someday when he is going to leave out, that complaint will stay there, and that complaint, if that fire back to your company, that can close your company. So if you are making a statement, if you're giving a commitment to the carrier, you have to fulfill it. If you're not able to fulfill it, at least just say we are not able to do. But putting a false claim on a carrier and trying to ruin his reputation, trying to ruin their reputation, it's gonna be a good thing, because you are taking something from the people which is not good enough. I think that's where I rest my case about this. So in this scenario, I know more than you because I handle this situation personally. And because of this report, there are a lot of brokerage company who called you even and who called me as well, that there is a report against Augustus Transport LLC. And I've been working with Augustus Transport LLC when I was doing a job as well, and when I'm doing working business with you. We have never done that kind of shit in ever. It was not our practice, right? But when people do complain and they try to ruin our reputation. And thank you for all the brokers out there who knows that somebody did a false report and they still gave us the load. Let me tell you something. So there are brokers out there who trusted us when I just told them, that was the false claim, and we replied to that. So they said, okay, it's okay, we'll give you the load. So I think giving a false claim to the carrier, it's not a good choice. I understand you have some things to do, but carrier also have something to do. So I have handled this situation personally, so that's something I was connected, and I want to send a society a very clearful message here, so that they'll not get confused, and never take any carrier very lightly. And for the carrier as well, do not take any brokers lightly. Do the rightful business. I know there are some points when we all try to make money as a carrier and as a broker, but doing unethical practice, you can make money today, but tomorrow your reputation and your brand will be gone. So I think if we do ethical practices in the market, so that would be very helpful for each person and the logistics, and that can help brands to make trust to each other, because in supply chain it's about chain. If you break that, that can break everything. That can ruin your career as well, that can ruin your brand as well, your company as well. So do not do things like that. So I want to say this. Maybe I'm very harsh, but right now that was so important to justify some of the things on camera. Yeah, so that was important. So how do you think, like, when people do illogical claims, complaints on portals and do that kind of stuff, do you think like there is something carriers pay attention to it, or they just ignore the stuff?
Most carriers ignore the stuff because there's very little they could do about it, because the broker has the upper hand in that scenario, because they put it on carrier 411 and you really cannot do much about that, right? The way carrier 411 is set up, so the broker has the advantage to put as much inaccurate information, because carrier 411 don't verify nothing. The broker could just say whatever he wants. It's not verified, it's not, and everybody uses it like it's gospel, which is very unfair to the carriers, right? Because in an instance that you was talking about, the time the negotiation was taking place, the hostage that they're claiming, the load already left and was on his way to there. He just did not know that.
Yeah.
Because we don't hold people's load. It's not beneficial to us to hold a load that someone doesn't want to pay for. It's even better to take the loss and get the load delivered and negotiate after. It's not in your best interest to negotiate after, because then you have no leverage. So the hostage scenario, most carriers use it as leverage, because the moment time they deliver this load, they have no leverage. And most of the time you have a hostage situation is because the broker is not keeping up with their side of the bargain. If you negotiate with a carrier to pay him after he pick up the load, don't think after you pick up the load, you're going to not pay him and he's still going to deliver it. And then call it hostage. That's not hostage. That's you creating a scenario to create what you call it as hostage. If you keep your words with the carriers, they'll keep their words. Carriers don't want to hold your freight. They have no need for your freight. Their job is to drop it as quickly as possible and get going. Just keep your word as a legitimate business person, and everything is fine. The thing is, the brokers play too much games. That's how you end up with that scenario, because now the carrier doesn't trust you, so he thinks the only way is to hold the freight till he get what you said you was going to do from the original.
Okay, so another question for you is that, which is I'm gonna ask you to help another trucking companies if they are watching this podcast. What are the real challenges that you are seeing right now by running a trucking company, and how do you think you can make some changes in your trucking company to make this business small or maybe high profitable by the time being, so that you can survive, your trucking company can survive, and other also get some of the lessons too, that what things that they can change in their system which can help their business as a trucking company.
So the biggest issues trucking company face is drivers and maintenance. That's the two biggest one. Fuel you don't have control over, but quality of driver matters. Quality of your maintenance process matter. And for most small carriers, they don't have a big maintenance operation like a large carrier. So they depends on random shops and truck stops and all of that for maintenance. And that kills the business because they're never in a hurry. You could spend 3 weeks in one shop and still get nothing done. You could spend, your trucker stay in the shop for 2 months and still it's just there, right? The shops don't see the need for speed, right? They'll take their sweet time, but at the end of the day, you still get a high bill. So you got to pay for the downtime plus the bill. So that's the biggest damage to small trucking companies. The next is drivers. The driver's attitude is terrible, right? Most drivers they don't see the load as a priority, right? They don't put everything into consideration when they make a decision. If the emotions run high, they act out, like without even thinking of the business. For example, going to a customer, and because you have a disagreement, you will go there and act up. When I say act up, like arguing with the shipper, blocking their doors. Like you cannot block a shipper door, right? That's time and money, right? They have operations to run, and you blocking a door for whatever reason is not good, right? Put your truck to the side and settle your disagreement with your carrier. You are a driver. You do not approach the shipper. You go with your carrier and your dispatcher and settle whatever disagreement. Do not bring the warehouse into that or the shipper into that, right? Whatever agreement they have is with your carrier, not you. So if you have a disagreement, you go back to your carrier and you don't give the shipper your attitude and all of that stuff, right? That's not their dealing with. That's between you and your carrier. So simple thing like overweight, or they waited 2 hours to load you, or the loading takes 5 hours, like that's normal. You making that an issue makes you an idiot, because that's normal in the business. You need to go to the carrier to get compensated for that. And if you're a driver, you have to expect these things to happen. So you getting upset over these things is not necessary.
So Edmond, your drivers hold the loads from the ports, and office people like the brokerage working from the office, and we are now in 2025 entering into 2026. Do you think the AI version is going to replace all the people who are doing the job in warehousing, at the port, and the office?
So about 10 years from now, 80% of the people in transport would not be needed. AI is going to take over 80% of it.
And what type of results you are seeing right now at the port which is happening, like replacing the people through AI?
So in the ports in Virginia, for example, they're way more advanced than, let's say, Charleston, for example, and Savannah, for example, because the union have it like that. The union, everybody know about the strike that they had. All of that was to do with.
And can you elaborate a little bit more about the strike which was happened in Charleston due to that they shut down the port and they want to do some of the infrastructure. The government want to do some of the infrastructure and want to install some of the AI versions.
So it's not the government.
Mm-hmm.
Government has nothing to do with this.
Okay.
This is between the line
Mm-hmm.
and the union.
Okay, which means the vessel and the
Yes,
union.
the
of
line and the
trucking
union.
companies.
All right. So the port is just a port.
Okay.
It's the line
Mm-hmm.
and the union workers
Mm-hmm.
that have the control of what happens when and how.
Mm-hmm.
So the line wants to upgrade
Mm-hmm.
to automation.
Mm-hmm.
The union fears automation,
Mm-hmm.
and automation will delete
Mm-hmm.
half the workers. Right? So now the agreement is for automation in phases. In the future, automation will go in slowly and slowly and slowly. But like for LA, it's already up and running.
And
right?
what are the changes and what are the differences like AI is creating at the ports?
So, for example, there is ports in China
Mhm.
that runs with 90% less workers than the US do.
Okay.
The crane operate themselves.
Mm-hmm.
The load boys operate themselves. That's the trucks that goes from the ship to the yard.
That is driverless.
All that is driverless in
Okay.
China already. Right? So they're way advanced.
Mm-hmm.
Right? In LA, you have some cranes that self-operate already. In Virginia, none of that is self-operated. It's still operated by people, but like the gate and all of that stuff, it's all automation. From the pin to the inspection, all of that is done automatically. You don't have nobody in there. That's why you gotta get an appointment to go in and all of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The East Coast, let's just use the whole East Coast in general, because they all under the same union.
Hmm.
It's a lot slower because the union wants it that way to preserve jobs.
Mm-hmm.
So that fight continues for probably another 12 years, because every 4 years the contract updates. So every time there's an update, they're gonna have a battle. But AI, they're gonna have to agree on certain amount of automation coming in. That's on the port side.
And how about the people who are working in the offices like dispatchers, freight forwarders,
Well, there is-
brokers?
On the broker side and freight forwarder side, there is no limitation to how much AI is going to take over.
Okay.
Right? Because where you needed 10 brokers or freight forwarders, you're probably only going to need 2.
Hmm.
Right? Just like how everyday office employees are being replaced by AI. I don't need someone to write me a memo. I don't need someone to give me a proposal. I just tell AI what I want and it spits it out in less than a minute.
And what differences you see that happening in the US and in India with the terms of AI? Like they have already installed AI versions of the stuff in the office and the warehouses, and or not, like they have already planned it, it's already done, or they are just working on it right now as compared to India? Because in India I don't think so AI version is already installed that much in the offices and the warehouses, but I want to ask you about the US.
So in the US, you have the big companies
Mhm.
who has the technological power.
Mhm.
They already run an AI, like Amazon, Google, FedEx, just name it. They're replacing workers with automation. All right, like, and I'm not just mean when I say workers 2 and 3, I mean 1,000, 30,000 at a time, 40,000 at a time. And you hear all the layoffs and layoffs. They had this automation that's taking over while you're laying off people.
Then what do you think would be the future of the people who are working in the logistics today? Maybe they are a dispatcher, a person
Some of
in
them will
working
have
warehouses.
to reskill to something else. It's not possible for they all to survive.
So if they have the same skill set which they had today, so that they will be
They're not
replaceable.
they're not gonna survive. The people who understand how to use AI
Mhm.
to assist will definitely leave those behind
Mhm.
in future coming, right? Because AI is scaling rapidly. and you have to get on the bandwagon. There is no staying behind. If you stay behind, you're left behind. End of story. Like if you understand how to use it. Like it's just like having you as a salesperson, and you have 2 assistants. Instead of having 2 assistants to increase your numbers, you just have AI, and that will increase your numbers, right? That will be your assistant, right? So AI is not going to completely replace you, but because it assists you so much, you alone will replace 5 people, 10 people, just with AI assistance. Because stuff you will take 3-4 hours in your day doing, you have AI doing in minutes. You see what I'm saying? So you don't have that limitations anymore. So the sky is the limit, as long as you understand how to implement AI in your everyday job. So it's not necessarily replacing people altogether in the next 10 years. It's just who improves rapidly is going to.
But removing that human touch in the logistics, do you think it will work? Like whenever we are sending the emails, we are talking to people on call. I know the AI version has already this call version when people don't even need to call someone. They will get just AI can talk by itself. It is coming.
So AI has the ability to talk like you do. AI has the ability to rationalize like you do. They have the ability to imitate feelings. Right? It mightn't be accurate enough, but it's enough to get the job done, right? So AI is learning. So you teach your AI how to imitate you and the way you react, and it'll do that. So your AI just needs to follow along with you for 6 months, and it could already do 80% of your work for you.
Okay. So let's start. Another question. If you have to, like, as a trucking company, and I'm asking you as an average, like for example, on a behalf of most of trucking company in the US, what do you think, like as a trucking company, who is on your priority list? Freight forwarder, shipper, or the broker? This point of time.
Depends on the kind of cargo you're moving. You transport, right? Because freight forwarder is more for intermodal people, all right, and brokers, and it's more for intermodal. Brokers is more for OTR, right? Because the OTR version is when the load leaves the warehouse, right? Like most of that time, it already left the freight forwarder hands and in the broker hands when it's at the warehouse. The warehouse don't go call freight forwarders; they call brokers. So you need warehouse and brokers if you're doing OTR. If you're doing intermodal, then freight forward is huge for you, right? Still got brokers in the mix, but it's better to target freight forwarders than brokers. And well, it's always best to go direct to the source, but if you're not big enough.
Most of trucking companies, I have seen that they don't have a sales department. They have operational department. Like for example, they have dispatchers, they have trucks, they have person who takes care for the trucks, like maintenance, inspection, but they don't have much of the sales staff. But in terms of brokerage company, they majorly have sales staff.
Well, a brokerage is just an addition to a trucking company, right? They're using the brokers as their sales department. So if they have a sales department, they need less brokers. If they don't have a sales department, then they need a lot of brokers. So a broker is just like an extension of it's like a third party sales team. That's what a broker is.
Do you think at this point of time trucking companies should have their sales department?
It'll be best because you have consistent freight forwarders or shippers that gives you consistent directly to you. And if you build a good relation with them, you're not competing with rates with 500 carriers. Because all brokers do is go shop for the best rates. Right? Not necessarily they have a specific carrier they use, and that's what they're going with. Most brokers just shop.
So at this point of time, what customers, like actual shippers, are looking for? Lower rates or the best service or the service?
In today's market, it's about rates.
It's about the rates.
It's about the rates, and then they go service. All right, so they go with the cheapest rate, and then out of the 5 people who offering the cheapest rate, who has the best service out of that. They'll go.
Okay,
So it's not
the
about
priority is the
it's
race.
not about the priority is the service, and then out of the people who provide the best service, they pick one with the cheapest rate. No, it's cheapest rate, and out of that, who has the best service, then they go with that. Because the market is just at the lowest, right? One of the lowest it's been in a long time, just at the bottom, just sitting there at the bottom. It's not going up, it's not going down, it's just kind of sitting here right now. Everybody hoping it goes up and it doesn't go any further down, because it's going to be a bloodbath if it goes any further down on the carrier side.
Okay. So what's the one suggestion that you want to give to trucking companies so that they can maintain a good relationship with the brokers and the shippers?
Brokers and the shippers. So your drivers has to be better than the average driver out there. The average driver out there don't have any awareness of what it takes to operate a business. All they know is they drive the truck and they think everything revolves around them. When they're only 20% of the problem, right? 20% of the operation. There's just so much more that takes place that needs to happen for that load to be on a truck to get there. They don't know about all of that. They don't understand the negotiation behind the scenes, and they don't understand the importance of them being on time. They don't understand that the customer needs them to be there when they need them, because the customer also have to organize people to offload and plan out how to get it off and all of that stuff. So when you late, you affect that operations. Now when you get there, sometimes the customer have issues. Let's say forklift issues, employee issues. You gotta have patience, right? The driver needs to know that there is days they're gonna go out and they might not make it back home due to issues that happens at the warehouse, which has nothing to do with them, but it affects them. And it's the job, and it's going to happen. So when it happens, just have patience. It's part of the job, and expect it to happen. Okay. And let them know they always need to have change of clothes or whatever it is to be able to stay out if need be, because it's going to happen. It's not if, it's just when.
Alright, and what's the one suggestion you want to give to freight forwarder, shipper, or a broker to maintain a good relationship with the trucking company?
So on the flip side, the warehouse and the freight forwarder needs to understand that the trucking company, yes, they tell them 8 o'clock, they could get up 2 hours in advance to make sure that they're early and still show up 2 hours late. Because there is 10 to 15 different things that could happen on the way there to stop them from being there. Right? So it's a challenge to get from point A to point B. And truck is one, driver issues is another, traffic is another. Right? That's like the three most common ones you will face. Weather, DOT. Like you have so much things that could happen from here to there. So there has to be some sort of leniency for the driver to show up. Give him a window, not an exact point. Right? And a point is not practical. You need a window. Right? Like, for example, like in Walmart, they give you 12 o'clock, but you can show up 45 minutes early or 45 minutes after. Otherwise, you need a new appointment. That's the window. That's an hour and a half window. So it's not a point, it's a window. It's an appointment in the middle, but you could come either early or after.
So which means it's better for trucking company if they can have the window, like for at least 1-2 hours.
Yeah,
as
hour before, hour
expect
after.
appointment time.
Well, yes, I know that the goal is to be there in the appointment, because most drivers go with the intention to show up an hour early. But that does not happen. As I said, there's a lot of things that happens on the road, even though you leave out home early. Right? Just one air leak, just one coolant leak, just one code on the dash pops up. Just one, you know what I mean, phone call from your house changes your whole day. See what I mean? I'm not saying that's the shipper's problem. I'm just saying there's just so much in between that our before and our after leniency is definitely needed.
So, as a broker, and I have friends out there who are a broker too, do you think, as a trucking company, and you've seen a lot of trucking companies, a lack of miscommunication between a trucking company and a broker may look like broker a fool in front of his customer?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, that's the biggest problem that brokers are seen with the trucking companies right now these days. Especially, like, just say if they have given some of the business, like few containers to a driver, to a trucking company, and they are not getting updates on time. I know as brokers we are frustrated, we call again and again and again, but if we are not getting the right update, right thing on the time, we look like a fool in front of our customer, right? So do you think this miscommunication is the biggest challenge and biggest problem between a good relationship between trucking company and the broker?
So carriers try to give updates, right? I could say try, I wouldn't say do. So they give updates like in the morning, they'll be like, I'll get there at 9, between let's say 9 and 10, right? You have a 10 o'clock appointment. So you'll say, all right, I'm on time, right? ETA 9:30, 10 o'clock. And they send the broker a link. But the broker will ignore all that and still go call the carrier.
Okay.
That's annoying. Because if I send you the information in your email and I sent you a link, you could follow the truck all the way to the warehouse. Why are you still calling me?
But there are brokers out there who didn't get the link. Like, most of trucking companies don't send the link, right? We do, some of others do, but some of others who have like 3, 4, 5 trucks, they don't provide the GPS tracking link to the brokers. And let's just say they are over capacity. The trucking company is over capacity for today, and they don't have managing system proper to give updates to the brokers, right? Do you think that kind of miscommunication which is happening in the market, that is a problem for them? And how do that will be resolved?
Well, the issue cannot be resolved just like that. Because if you pick the smaller trucking company that gives you the cheapest rate, why you expect high quality service?
Okay.
They comes together. You want top-notch service, you have to pay for it. All this stuff costs money. To hire somebody to track and to pay for a tracking service, to pay for this, so you could get proper update on time and all that. All that stuff has a cost, and you want to pay the bare minimum to get the load done. So if you're paying the bare minimum, expect the bare minimum. Don't expect royalty.
So you think if the market turn around, or if market change, if broker provide the good rates, or maybe the freight forwarders provide good rates, then trucking companies can hire people to provide the good service?
Yes. If you work with carriers, like the carriers right at the bottom of the food chain, their service, you pay the bare minimum, right? Because you paying them like just to operate the truck, not even to pay themselves, just to operate the truck. They don't have enough money for the extra stuff that you want, right? The timely update, the this, the that. They're barely making it to operate the truck, much less to worry about you and your updates. It's the least they could do is get your container there. You and your updates is not on their priority list, right? It's just to get the. Most bigger companies has people for that. They have technology for that. They have stuff for that. That's why they could provide that service. Smaller people don't have that. That's why they could give you rates that makes no sense.
Okay. So which means broker can, or shipper can, or forwarders can get the rates but not the service.
You want either or, right? Like, you cannot expect to pay for the cheapest service but still turn around and get the best service. Because that's what you're paying for. You're paying for service, right? You're not paying for FSC and you're not paying for line haul.
Mm-hmm.
You're paying for service, right? You're right now you're paying just for FSC and line haul. You're not paying for service, but you still want the best service. When you pay for service, you get service. When you pay for FSC and line haul, that's what you get.
Thank you for answering all the question. At last, I just want to ask you, what do you think? Like, what's your aim for Augustus Transport in next 5 years, and what are the things that you're implementing right now to turn this company, wherever you want? Like what are the things that you're making? What are the changes that you're making these days, so that can help this company to grow? And where do you want it to be?
So the main problem Augustus Transport is facing is in the service department, getting the truck service and staying on top of road inspections and all of that to maintain a better safety rating. So number one is trying to switch over to rental units.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot newer, so you're not using older equipment that you can change out every 4 to 5 years.
So you're changing the equipment, so you're getting the
Yes.
new equipment.
Yes.
That will be really,
Turning
really
over
helpful
that.
for the people.
Yes. Second is upgrading the systems that you use in the business so it's more efficient
Mm-hmm.
and so you could track more stuff and get the proper data and the proper numbers so you could provide a better service. So instead of focusing just on the truck side,
Mm-hmm.
focus on the business side just as much. Because I only used to put effort on the trucking side and not on the business side, which created an imbalance. So as hard as you fight on the trucking side, you don't get any result because the business side is dead. You have put no effort there. So you must put effort on both sides, not just trucking side.
And where you will see Augustus Transport LLC after 3-4 years?
Where you see the 3-4 years. So 3-4 years from now, hopefully it's a 100-unit carrier.
100 unit, 100
Yes.
truck units.
Yes, a 100-unit carrier and not a 15-unit carrier,
Hmm.
with proper implementation of better systems.
Okay. And are you looking to have office in the world, like in different places, or you like to be stay in the US?
Well, the office needs to be, depends on the function, right? One thing I keep in mind that at some point you might have the government start to crack down on carriers that operate in the US and have their functions outside, right? Like that's a big possibility because there's a lot of that going on,
Mm-hmm.
and they say that's what's killing the legacy carriers,
Hmm.
all right? Because those carriers could operate at a such lower margin than the carriers that operate 100% in the US. All right, so it's like a 80% difference in margin needed to say, I'm talking about margin, not price. 80% margin needed, so one might need 40 cents, the other one might need $1.
Hmm.
That's the difference. So at some point, you gotta expect they're gonna look into that and see how. So you might want to have to keep at least 50% of your operation in the US, just in case that ever gets shut down, you're not left dead.
So at least we can say at the conclusion that you are working on providing the best service in terms of office stuff, like giving updates on time, doing things better, and you're changing your units from the older ones to new ones, and you have a goal where you can have like 100 trucks in the US up and running as a newer version for the logistics. I think
Yes.
that will be the best choice for brokers out there, shippers out there, freight forwarders out there to work with Augustus Transport LLC if they are, having that kind of service, and you are the owner. And if you have that kind of mindset, your team will have the same. So I think that's a win-win situation for all of the people who will be working with Augustus Transport and Augustus Transport working with those people, because it will be beneficial for both of
Yes,
the
for both parties.
For both of the parties.
For both
so that
parties.
at the end, it will be best for everyone. So
Definitely.
I want to say thank you so much for coming to India and coming to this podcast and doing business together, and for all the opportunities that you have given. And the last, what is the feedback about me working with you?
It's been good. It's been good. It's been good. But that's why I'm in India, so it's been good.
All right. All right. Thank you so much. So I hope you like this, and please go follow Augustus Transfer LLC on the LinkedIn. Please do watch this video on YouTube. Please drop your comments, like, subscribe, and if you have any questions, please send us comments or DMs. Also, you can text us over the WhatsApp. You can find our number over the LinkedIn application, and you can go to our website too. And if you are a driver, you can go and apply on our website. If you're looking to hire, if you're looking for a job, and if you are a dispatcher, salesperson, or anyone who's looking to work with Augustus Transfer LLC as a team, please go and apply through the website, and we are all here for you. Thank you so much. Have a good day.